You want to get a loan to buy that real estate that you've been dreaming about. It's either for you, for your own use, or probably to rent it out and make some extra passive income. Not so fast. In this video, I will share with you my experience with most Polish banks and their loan requirements. If you are new here, my name is Adrian, your real estate insider in Warsaw. I currently have 3 properties in Tbilisi, Georgia, which are generating passive income for me, and I recently bought another flat in Warsaw, which I'm planning to renovate, so stay tuned for those videos. And in this channel, we're just talking personal finance and real estate. I am planning to tackle bigger deals in Warsaw with other passive investors. If you would be interested in that, join our private Facebook group below and message me directly on Facebook. So what are the requirements to get you a loan in Poland? Different banks, of course, have different requirements, but I'll go through the general stuff so you get a gist of it. And of course, you'll have to talk with your loan broker or go to the banks directly and talk to the representatives. And they might not even know the exact requirements, because guess what? The representatives who are working in the branch are actually not the people who are underwriting the deals and underwriting your creditworthiness. So there will be a lot of misinformation out there, but the information I'm telling you, it's gonna get you started. So basically, the Polish banks, they want to see that you have a working contract here. So the first type of contract is Umowa pracy, okay? This is basically an employment contract. It's the most stable one that banks love here. And it's also one of the most expensive ones. If you're an entrepreneur from outside of Poland, or if you're a freelancer, you probably don't have this contract. But let's say you do. In that case, you're paying a lot of social security taxes. I mean, total taxes could be up to 30% or more. But the good thing with this type of contract is that if you're earning in Polish zloty, in 3 months, from some banks, and up to 6 months, if you show income with this kind of contract from 3 to 6 months, you can have a loan. With this type of contract, if it's a job that you have had for let's say it's an old job, it's not a new contract, right? In that case, most banks will take 3 months of proof of income as valid. But if it's a new job, then 6 months with Umowa pracy. The other type of contract that I know of is Umowa Dzielo, which is basically a freelancer type contract. And the Polish government has set this up to encourage freelancing and service type of jobs. The problem with this is that banks don't rely on this as hard because freelancers do not have a stable job in the bank's eyes, whatever that means, right? They do not like this type of contracts as much as the first type, which is Umowa pracy. So Umowa Dzielo is less reliable. That's why the banks require at least 12 months of contract if you have a Umowa Dzielo. So it can take up to 12 months with Umowa Dzielo until the banks accept this document, this contract as valid. And of course, you're paying less taxes also. So that's maybe one reason why Polish banks and the Polish government wants you to have a Umowa pracy, because you're paying more money to the government. So let me get this one thing clear, because I know a lot of you guys, just like me, when I came here, I was confused about this thing. Adrian, if I receive US dollars in my account, I want to get a Polish zloty loan. Does that work? Or if I'm receiving euros, can I get a US dollar loan, or vice versa, right? I've talked to several banks already, and this is just not going to work. They want you to receive your income in the currency that they're going to lend to you. It's basically that simple. And by the way, just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a lawyer, so all of this is just my experience, okay? Do your own research and make your own decisions. So if you have income in euros for 3 months and you have a contract with a company and you're receiving euros in a Polish bank and a euro bank account, you can actually get a loan after 3 months, which is crazy. It's amazing, right? What about the down payment? If you're from the US, you know that there are some type of 3% down payment loans for first-time home buyers or people who are planning to live there themselves. So this is amazing. I have not seen that in Poland yet. Of course, if you're in the US military, you might be paying 0% down payment, which is totally mind-blowing for me. Here in Poland, we're talking about 10%. It's still amazing. By the way, this is for Polish zloty, okay? If you are taking a loan in euros, they're gonna require you to pay more. But for Polish zloty, 10%. So you're getting 90% of the whole amount. If you're taking euros, basically from one bank that I was talking to, I don't remember exactly which one, you could be paying 26% down payment and the rest you are getting as a loan, okay? What about interest rates? Well, this is gonna change all the time. I have my experience and current rates. In Polish zloty, I'm seeing between 8 to 10% interest rate from the banks. And in euros and USD, it's just like 1% below that. So it's not very different here because the bank margin is higher in Poland if you're taking a euro or USD loan. But in zloty, it's around 8 to 10%. The lowest I've seen right now, today, as of 25th of May, 2023, it's around 8% from Millennium. And 7.9% from Citi. Doesn't matter, it's basically 8%. I'll give you a little secret. In Poland, if you're paying 10% down payment, you might be paying around 9.3% interest rate. But if you pay 20% down payment, that interest rate goes down by around 0.8%. So you're gonna pay way less. And this is just how the banks have regulated it. So just keep that in mind. If you pay 20% down payment, you're gonna get a way better interest rate I think for a few years. They fix it for a few years. That's what I know. In USA, you have like 30 years fixed. Here, I think it's 3 to 5 years, and in Georgia, it was basically 1 to 2 years fixed rate. Another secret I'll tell you now is that most banks here, they love you to be an active customer. So basically, if you're an active customer and you're spending with your debit card or credit card and you're transferring your salary to their bank, they will give you around 0.5% less than the normal rate they offer to, let's say, outside of their bank's customers. Yeah. So these are small tips, but they can really add up in the end. For business loans and personal loans, this is going to be different. And of course, all of this can be adjusted. 30-year loans are the norm here. Okay. So that's great. It's because your payment amount is going to be quite low. Compared to a loan that I have in Georgia, it's like 10 to 15 years. Yeah, 15 years is the max loan I have, like max term I have in Georgia. So yeah, 30 years, that's amazing. I love that. So 20% down payment, 30 years, sounds good to me. So let's say you want to renovate your house. Can you add that amount to your loan? Yes. So how the banks do it here is that you need to show them the receipts and they will basically reimburse you. So what about renovation costs? Can you get a loan for the renovation costs? And the answer is yes. I haven't done this yet, but I know that you can get a preliminary quote from the bank, and then you need to show the receipts for the work and the materials, and the bank will basically release the money to you as you go in stages. Or you can basically do all of the renovations in cash, and then you just show them all the receipts and they will give you a loan for that amount, okay? So yes, you can do the renovation, but there are details in this, depends what you're doing, which kind of renovation. Let's just say a simple renovation where you're just basically fixing your apartment for rent or for yourself. That's fine, yeah. What about refinancing? Most banks in Poland allow you to refinance a property and the renovation costs up to 1 year after the purchase date. It's totally crazy to me. The banks see refinancing as a more risky bet than lending you the money while you want to purchase the property, which is like, what the f***? Why? In Poland, the banks emphasize the person they're lending to. So your income is way more important here than what it would be in, let's say, USA, where you can basically get DSCR loans, debt service coverage ratio loans, which means that if you can show that this property, and of course they will check it, can make some good income, and that will cover the bank loan, the mortgage, you don't even need to have an income. You can get the loan. And of course, these are going to be a little riskier, but still you can do it. In Poland, that's basically not been possible from what I'm researching and what I'm seeing. One other thing about refinancing is that there are a few banks, for example, Alior, investor-friendly bank, which is owned by PZU, one of the biggest insurance companies, probably the biggest one in Poland. With Alior, you can actually refinance up to 2 years after the purchase of the property. Okay, so that's one of the banks which is a bit more flexible with the refinancing. To stay up to date with the Warsaw real estate market, join our Facebook group, Warsaw Real Estate Investing Club. There you can find and connect with other real estate investors in Warsaw who also speak English. I am planning to host monthly real estate meetups in Warsaw very soon. Let's help each other reach financial freedom. So you might be asking, how much should I be earning to get the loan? Okay, so this is gonna be a bit of a calculation. I'm sure you can get a mobile app like mortgage calculator, put the interest rate in, put the price of the house that you want to buy, and then you insert the interest rate, the price, and the down payment, and you'll get the monthly payments to the bank, which includes the interest plus your principal. So after you get that monthly payment amount, which includes everything you need to pay to the bank, you just take that and then double it, and that should be your minimum income for the Polish banks to trust the fact that you will pay the amount every month. So 2x is the safety margin that the banks are ready to accept. Okay, so if let's say your monthly payment is going to be around 1,000 PLN, just for example, you have to make 2,000. So I would say with the current prices, 5,000 PLN is probably the mortgage payment you're going to pay. 3 to 5,000, you need to make around 7 to 10,000 Polish zloty per month, right? So if you're paying $1,000 a month in the loan payment, you should be making $2,000. And of course, they will probably ask you also how much do you spend for your personal needs, like if you have a car loan, credit card debt, food, housing, all of that. But let's just say 2x is the rule of thumb. Don't the banks really understand that there is rental income? Yes, they do, but they are very, very conservative. So what do? We have to show them for a whole year that this property is earning and a tenant is paying rent for a whole year, and we are paying taxes on that. In that way, they can actually count the income as yours for your next loan. Okay? So it does work. So you might be asking, do I need a residency to get a bank loan? Not really. For some banks like ING and Millennium, I didn't have my residency card and I could open it. But you definitely need a Polish phone number. So get that as fast as you can from T-Mobile, Orange, or Play, or whatever other. And you might need a PESEL, but you can get that in one day if you are from the European Union. I did make a video about how to get your EU residency card. I'll put the link below. So if you are from the EU, you can basically follow the video and get your residency card. What about like credit worthiness? Well, this is not as important, let's say. But it's good to build your credit history in Poland. And there are agencies that track your credit in Poland. But it's not as important right now. In USA, credit worthiness is a bit more important. What about creative financing? Well, I'm not going to get too deep into this subject, but there are HELOC loans, home equity line of credit loans, and you can get up to 70% of the value of your house and pull the money out tax-free and use it for a down payment on another house or whatever you need to use it for. And that's with Prestige, which is the private banking section of Millennium, which I have an account at right now. And I'll talk about like private banking in a separate video. And another creative financing way with no or low money down would be seller financing. This is something I'm going to be exploring in the future way more as I get into bigger deals, and I'm going to partner up with investors. By the way, if you're finding this video useful, consider subscribing and hitting the bell button below, and you'll get notified when I release more content like this. What about prepayment penalties? Well, from what I understand, there is a 3% fee up to the first 3 years of you having the loan. And this is just general stuff. You can probably negotiate it depending on the deal size and whatever, right? So again, I'm not giving financial advice. Just check it with your bank or your loan broker about exactly what is required by the bank when you're signing for this loan. Just a funny thing, if you talk about the largest bank in Poland by asset size, it's PKO. It's a government bank, and they actually have like limits on how much they can loan or lend to you, which is, I think the last time I talked to them, it was around 450,000 zloty, and their interest rate was higher than usual. I don't get that. I'll talk about the banks of Poland in a different video, but this is one of the banks which has the least amount of English-speaking customer service employees. I only opened a bank account there because I thought maybe the government bank will give me a better deal. And what a surprise I got. The government is not the best service provider. What about if you have a contract with a company outside of Poland. This is a bit tricky, and I would say from what I've heard from the bank employees and loan brokers, this is one of those gray areas where you can apply, of course. I was bringing some income, but I decided to just do Polish zloty with a Polish company because they want you to be paying taxes in Poland. They want the company to be paying taxes in Poland because these are the requirements or the normal cases for them. Yeah. So don't fight with bureaucrats. That's one thing that I've learned in life. Don't fight with bureaucrats. Just give them what they want and don't make their jobs harder because they're not entrepreneurs like me and you, okay? They just want to go home after their workday. They're not gonna make solutions for you. So I recently bought an apartment. Click here to watch my property analysis on this hot deal that I picked up in this crazy market of Warsaw. See you there.